This is Classic Poetry Aloud. You can hear more readings of classic poetry at classicpoetryaloud.com. One Way of Love by Robert Browning. All June I bound the rose in sheaves. Now rose by rose I strip the leaves and strow them where Pauline may pass. She will not turn aside. Alas, let them lie. Suppose they die, the chance was they might take her eye. How many a month I strove to suit these stubborn fingers to the lute. Today I venture all I know. She will not hear my music? So break the string, fold music's wing. Suppose Pauline had bade me sing. My whole life long I learned to love. This hour my utmost art I prove and speak my passion. Heaven or hell? She will not give me heaven. 'Tis well. Lose who may, I still can say, those who win heaven, blessed are they. This is Classic Poetry Aloud. You can hear more readings of classic poetry at classicpoetryaloud.com. Piano by D.H. Lawrence. Softly, in the dusk, a woman is singing to me, taking me back down the vista of years till I see a child sitting under the piano in the boom of the tingling strings and pressing the small poised feet of a mother who smiles as she sings. In spite of myself, the insidious mastery of song betrays me back till the heart of me weeps to belong to the old Sunday evenings at home, with winter outside and hymns in the cosy parlour, the tinkling piano our guide. So now it is vain for the singer to burst into clamour with the great black piano appassionato. The glamour of childish days is upon me. My manhood is cast down in the flood of remembrance. I weep like a child for the past. This is Classic Poetry Aloud. You can hear more readings of classic poetry at classicpoetryaloud.com. I Am Lonely, from The Spanish Gypsy, by George Eliot. The world is great. The birds all fly from me. The stars are golden fruit upon a tree all out of reach. My little sister went, and I am lonely. The world is great. I tried to mount the hill above the pines where the light lies so still, but it rose higher. Little Lisa went, and I am lonely. The world is great. The wind comes rushing by. I wonder where it comes from. Seabirds cry and hurt my heart. My little sister went, and I am lonely. The world is great. The people laugh and talk and make loud holiday. How fast they walk! I'm lame. They push me. Little Lisa went, and I am lonely. This is Classic Poetry Aloud. You can hear more readings of classic poetry at classicpoetryaloud.com. When 40 winters shall besiege thy brow. Sonnet number 2 by William Shakespeare. When 40 winters shall besiege thy brow, and dig deep trenches in thy beauty's field, thy youth's proud livery, so gazed on now, will be a tattered weed of small worth held. Then, being asked where all thy beauty lies, where all the treasure of thy lusty days, to say within thine own deep sunken eyes, were an all-eating shame and thriftless praise. How much more praise deserved thy beauty's use, if thou couldst answer, this fair child of mine shall sum my count and make my old excuse, proving his beauty by succession thine. This were to be new made when thou art old, and see thy blood warm when thou feel'st it cold. This is Classic Poetry Aloud. You can hear more readings of classic poetry at classicpoetryaloud.com. Love of Country, from The Lay of the Last Minstrel, by Sir Walter Scott. Breathes there the man with soul so dead, who never to himself hath said, "This is my own, my native land," whose heart hath ne'er within him burned, as home his footsteps he hath turned from wandering on a foreign strand? If such there breathe, go, mark him well, for him no minstrel raptures swell. High though his titles, proud his name, boundless his wealth, as wish can claim, despite those titles, power and pelf, the wretch, concentrate all in self, living shall forfeit fair renown, and, doubly dying, shall go down to the vile dust from whence he sprung, unwept, unhonoured, and unsung. This is Classic Poetry Aloud. You can hear more readings of classic poetry at classicpoetryaloud.com. Evening on Calais Beach by William Wordsworth. It is a beauteous evening, calm and free. The holy time is quiet as a nun, breathless with adoration. The broad sun is sinking down in its tranquillity. The gentleness of heaven broods o'er the sea. Listen, the mighty being is awake, and doth with his eternal motion make a sound like thunder everlastingly. Dear child, dear girl, that walkest with me here, if thou appear untouched by solemn thought, thy nature is not therefore less divine. Thou liest in Abraham's bosom all the year, and worshipst at the temple's inner shrine, God being with thee, when we know it not. This is Classic Poetry Aloud. You can hear more readings of classic poetry at classicpoetryaloud.com. December, by Dolly Radford. No gardener need go far to find the Christmas rose, the fairest of the flowers that mark the sweet year's close, nor be in quest of places where the hollies grow, nor seek for sacred trees that hold the mistletoe. All kindly tended gardens love December days, and spread their latest riches out in winter's praise. But every gardener's work this month must surely be to choose a very beautiful big Christmas tree, and see it through the open door in triumph ride, to reign a glorious reign within at Christmastide. This is Classic Poetry Aloud, and today's date, April the 15th, is the anniversary of the death of Matthew Arnold. Immortality by Matthew Arnold. Foiled by our fellow men, depressed, outworn, we leave the brutal world to take its way, and patience, in another life, we say, the world shall be thrust down and we upborne. And will not then the immortal armies scorn the world's poor routed leavings? Or will they, who failed under the heat of this life's day, support the fervours of the heavenly morn? No, no, the energy of life may be kept on after the grave, but not begun, and he who flagged not in the earthly strife, from strength to strength advancing, only he, his soul well knit and all his battles won, mounts, and that hardly, to eternal life.